Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. We are joined by none other than Luke Gygax. Luke, thank you so much once again for not only giving us the opportunity, but for joining us as well today. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've had a great time so far. It's just still early in the convention, but I'm looking forward to running some Dungeons & Dragons tonight and tomorrow, hang out with UK gamers.
Amazing. So the UK Games Expo, this is how many years have you been coming so far?
It's my second.
How do you find the convention? Obviously, your schedule, I imagine, is jam-packed, full of conventions throughout the year.
It's busy. So last year I was a vendor, so I didn't get to enjoy hanging out as much. And this year I'm not, so which is a nice change.
Yeah.
But attend a convention and not really have to work. I mean, my work is running D&D games, so not so bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not terrible. And doing it, so not awful. And drinking beer, so it's not bad. And so I've had a good time, really. UK gamers are pretty friendly. As I've been walking around or seated at a place, people will come and say, hey, can I sit with you? How are you doing? And then they're like, oh my God, you're Luke Gygax.
That surprises me because as British people, we pride ourselves on our manners. So immediately it's like, oh, I won't go and say hello because like that would be impolite and the improper thing to do. But as soon as you break down that barrier, like,
yeah. Well, they just...
I've gotten into UK Games Expo as well. They don't know I'm here, but we're going to do some interviews.
I would imagine that as you're walking through the convention, your eye kind of gets pulled off to, oh, okay, what's that TTRPG? Yeah. What's that role-playing game? Have you seen anything this year that's kind of like struck a chord with you?
I know I want to go visit the Chaosium booth because I like Call of Cthulhu, great game. Mm-hmm. And the guys that work there are very nice. And I want to get over to On the Borderlands. Keep On the Borderlands.
Yeah,
they did. So yeah, so I got to get over there and talk to a few people, and then I really just want to wander around and look at new games, new WoW games. I bought a T-shirt while I was over there, so I did do Call Spy. There was a shirt that said Flayer on it, and it had a Mind Flayer, right? And so I listened.
Flayer has to be done.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Amazing. So I was very much the same. I came very controlled, I'm not going to spend too much money because for those audience at home know that I got married 4 weeks ago. My baby is going to be here in 4 weeks. Okay. So I came here with very strict instructions. Do not spend too much money within 5 minutes of being here. I was like, I want that. And ended up buying this beautiful skull that we've got in front of us. So
prop for
yeah, no,
show.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a business thing. We can write this off completely within expenses and tax. Yeah, so we're talking about obviously new RPGs that are kind of coming to the UK Games Expo, but I believe that you also have some new RPGs that you've been working on. I mean, we had the opportunity to work and interview GUI Cube last year.
Nice.
And we had the great opportunity to obviously talk to them about some of the projects, but I believe that you have currently got a project in the pipeline with them.
We do. We have the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx, which is an homage to my dad and to the 50 years of gaming. It's to the early days, to harken back to the early days. It is a 5e adventure. And of course, the cornerstone of any scenario is the adventure. So there's adventure to be had. There's monsters to be fought. There's puzzles to be solved. But there's also Easter eggs and puns and a bit of silliness kind of salted in there. I started talking to you about it in 2023, and a lot of people come in with various ideas, right? So I was a little skeptical, but I got to know him better. He's a great guy, or Alphinius Gu, as he prefers to go by his stage name.
Yeah.
We spent some time together and got to came up with some ideas. We based it on T1, the village of Hamlet, is kind of our inspiration. That was the spark of where we wanted to start. So you'll see some nods to lots of things, but particularly the village of Hamlet, because that's the first adventure I ever went on as a player.
Oh, right. Okay. That's interesting. Like.
Yeah. So the village of Etholm is where you'll find, which is an anagram of Hamlet, is where you'll find my family. So my kids and my wife and I are all there in the town. I'm a retired soldier and adventurer, right? So
yeah.
And my kids, I took pictures of them all and asked what kind of class they want to be, and then they did the sketches. So it's really it's really neat. So
That's really cool.
it was.
The fact that you've been able to have the opportunity to involve and bring your family into an adventure like that, and not only is it an homage to your dad, it's kind of instilling your legacy as well, right? And there's an adventure about not only like your dad, which I'm sure you would encounter, right, within the adventure.
Yeah.
But you get what was your wife's character like
In a world of Ogrim, she's the goddess of truth
Oh,
and law. I guess she brings the name down.
Yeah.
So I think she's playing a paladin. I'll be darned if I can. I should know that. I know all my kids. Sabrina's a fighter, and Miriam is a wizard, and Amira is a druid. So
side question: does Grogu make it into the adventure?
Grogu does make it into the adventure, so we'll have a little Grogu in there as well because we had to.
We have, yeah, absolutely.
And as we had people, I said to Kim, I said, why don't we see if we could maybe pull in some other people, some creators, not to necessarily contribute, but just to be NPCs in there, something based on them. So, I asked Ed Greenwood and Zach Cook and, Errol Otis, and Larry Elmore. And so all these guys are NPCs in the city of Bethlehem, and you get to interact with characters they designed that oftentimes look like them, although a couple chose to be different. Like Margaret Weiss just made a character, not based on herself. So that was just a lot of fun. And I got to connect and pull in a lot of
Amazing.
old friends into it. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think hopefully it was pretty well received. We did pretty well on that one. And so I think we'll probably do the Temple Existential Evil as the follow-up.
That's
Next year.
So where can we find more information about the two guys and
Oh, it's on Backer Kit, so we'll have to get some links and put them in.
Oh yeah,
down there, down
in the dungeon.
Yeah,
We refer to it.
Yeah, it'll be in there. So it's on Backer Kit right now, and you can order a bunch of GaryCon knickknacks as well that I had leftovers. There's like the True Deck of Many Things that has art featuring GaryCon artists. That's a deck of many things, and 12 bonus cards in this one, as well as
That sounds
cool dice and stuff like that. Yeah, as well as Gooey Cube stuff too.
amazing.
And it's like,
Well, take time. Take time. I'm actually going to
all right,
Cool. So we're here. So what was the name again?
Luke.
So talking about GaryCon,
Yeah.
how was that?
It was amazing. So the 50th anniversary of D&D. So we pulled out all the stops. We sold out. So people don't know that Lake Geneva is a pretty small town. It's about 7,000 people. And GaryCon, we filled the largest venue there, and we fit 3,500 people in there, which is a lot. We filled up this entire hotel space. The amount of people we have is based on the amount of tables we have and the amount of games we have. We say we would like at least 70% of people on the busiest day to be able to sit down and play a game. So GaryCon is about gaming, all sorts of gaming, but it's primarily TTRPG heavy. And a lot of other conventions are about their exhibitor convention. So there's probably 50 or 60 vendors there, artists and things. But that's not the main focus. The main focus is just going on epic scenarios with some of the world's best GMs come to GaryCon and write games. It's amazing. You can do anything from play, chainmail with, guys who gamed with my dad, or tactics with Mike Reese, who designed it with my dad. Don't Give Up the Ship with Mike Carr, who's designed that with my dad as Dave Artisan, to playing 5e with Mike Morrells, or Call of Duty with Jeff Richard, or whatever. Just
There's all that for
cool stuff.
upper echelon of the DM world, right?
We're here with Luke Gygax, famous D&D person. So Luke, you're here in the UK. How have you been enjoying yourself so far?
I'm having a jolly good time.
A jolly good time. Well, yeah, it feels like a little bit of generalisation to me, but that's fine. We'll smooth over it. So obviously, UK, home of medieval, home of the fantasy world, home of Tolkien. What inspiration for your fantasy games have you taken from the UK? And how do you plan on paying reparations to the people of the UK for using our culture?
Strange. I haven't. The UK, I'm in England, so that's where we are. So it's like the British people.
It's semantic.
Right, yeah, but
Well, you mentioned earlier, we are coming up to 50 years of D&D, and the tabletop role-playing community has grown exponentially since then. And
I don't know that it's about being able to connect virtually. That helped during the pandemic. That did
Mhm.
help grow it. But I'd say before that, role-playing always seemed daunting to people who'd never played.
Mhm.
Like, this rule book is hundreds of pages thick. How am I ever going to understand that? They didn't realize you don't have to
You don't.
read this book. You just, if you sit and watch, or better yet, pick up the dice and roll it with some people, you'll understand it in 15, 20 minutes. And I think what helped is YouTube and Twitch.
yeah,
So people could then watch a video, go, wait a second, that's not complicated. That's guys making fart jokes and all this.
Yeah.
It's not this silly and
innuendos. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. You know, and you can do that. And oh my God, is it fun? And we stare at a lot of screens all day. So isn't it nice to be around people
yeah, it is.
and have that moment before you even start playing where you're kind of socializing, you catching up with each other, and then you go on a big adventure and you rely on a lot of others characters, but it's really relying on each other to overcome stuff, and you feel like you're part of a team and you have a good feeling that, oh man, it's great, and go on your way. So I think that really hits the storytelling and the sense of belonging and the social creatures that we are. I think it taps into all those things.
Yeah,
And that's very powerful. And people watching other people play demystifies it for them. So
no, I completely agree.
halflings are like distinct and different in a very legal sense. They're short and they have furry feet and, like 11sies and stuff like that. But
Just to clarify,
but they are not hobbits.
right, and the British teeth are the bad teeth. We don't actually have furry feet. So Gary,
Luke.
sorry?
We were talking before about 50 years of D&D. Have you got anything special planned for 50 years?
Sure, I did. Well, one of the things I did is I held a convention even before GaryCon because I knew GaryCon would sell out. I said, you know what? Let's do something that really focuses mostly on old school stuff. Let's do Founders and Legends. And so I had a 400-person convention and about 30 guests. So not a great financial decision, but it's good that way. However, you only turned 51, right?
Right.
Absolutely. One of the things that came out of that is I said, you know what? Let's do something. No one, I've never heard of doing this. And that's my knowledge. No one. Let's make a scenario. Let's design a tournament where you play all editions of D&D as the same character in the same scenario.
Wow.
So I said, okay, let's do this. And I talked to my friend Andrew Perry, who's been running the Warp Guild, which has been a group of gamers for about 45 years. They've been consistent gaming, and he's run with them. It's like 200 people or so. He runs thousands of hours of DMing every year, so he's very solid. And let's get together. Let's work on this. I said I'm going to tap a few people I know and see if we can do this. So I reached out to Keith Baker, Zeb Cook, Kelsey Dion, Mike Merles, and Andrew and I all collaborate on this. And each one of they were our DMs.
Okay, so these DM'd us a particular edition.
Well, they DM'd it all.
Oh, right, okay.
Rotated around, did it. But they designed one, and then we play tested it. And that was a lot of fun. There was probably 1,500 hours of work that went into designing this. I think we made 12 characters for each edition, right? And some of that's hard to do. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and the way we designed it is I didn't tell people what was going on. I said, hey, you're going to play all editions of D&D at a tournament.
Bring die to open your
Just
imagination.
kind of show up. Here's the schedule, what it looks like. So they arrived on Friday night late, and at like 9 o'clock, we welcomed in, gave them some drinks and some beer and stuff, and then we did a draft where it's like, all right, who's in the first group? We need 8 people. And so 8 people stood up, and then we had them draw at random a room bag in that room's character. And then they could horse trade amongst themselves, but that was it. That was really characters that you were playing.
Wow.
And that was your ODD character. And then that you got the character, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, you started your adventure. And then at noon, you finished, and you got your 1E, 2E character.
Of the same character.
Same.
There you go. There's your character.
Like, that's how this character is evolved.
Oh, wow.
So you might have been a hobbit who's now a thief, or you could have been a fighting man who's now a ranger. And then same thing, they went into 3rd edition the following day. They went into 3rd edition with their little whammy at them because something happens and you end up in 4th edition. Like they're in that same session. And they're pretty different. You can't really, it was hard to figure out how to combine 3rd and 4th.
Well, I would imagine you'd have to go backwards compatibility rather than forward, because that's a little bit more of a difficult jump from the 2 editions, right?
It was hard. Yeah, it was hard. Thankfully, Keith Baker had to deal with 4th edition, so thank you, Keith.
Yeah.
He was pulling us out. It was tough. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I like 4th edition. It's good." I was like,
Excellent.
Awesome.
There's your project.
Yeah.
It's nice.
and then Kelsey worked on the 5th edition part with Mike Morals as well, and
You post a lot of thirst traps on your Instagram, and from those I can quite easily tell your strength build. What would you say is your dump stat?
it's not charisma, that's for sure.
Agreed.
Right. If I talked to my wife, it's a tie between intelligence and wisdom. She'd say that
Okay.
kind of like rolled low in both of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Everybody who played it, 87% respond to the surveys,
Mm-hmm.
and just
All
when's the next one? I want to sign up for it. We're cheap. We charge $2,000 for
a siege.
Yeah.
Oh, well, 1,500 hours is. I mean, there's a lot of time and effort that needs to be put into that, right?
Yeah. The parties within the food and all that. So it was like just show up and you're gonna play games. And with those DMs, it was cool. Pretty much the consensus was this was amazing. It was the best experience I've had in my life gaming. It was one of the highlights I've ever had. And do this again, please.
That sounds amazing.
So we're going to take this as a road show around the United States.
I was going to ask, is the plans to do something else?
So we're looking to bring it to, we're a little too close to do Gen Con, I think. So we'll probably have to, that was an idea, but we'll probably scrap it, but we'll probably do it before Dragon Con, before Gamehole Con.
Okay.
And then a standalone, not associated with any convention, but combined with any convention in Vegas. Because everybody can get to Vegas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. From all over the world as well. So
that's great. And next year, I'm hoping, gonna knock on stone or from Mike or whatever. I'm hoping to do GaryCon UK. I want to do it this year, but it's just
too hectic. Amazing. Well, if that does happen, I hope that we're at the top of the list of the first people to know, because that will be, you're going to cost me a lot of money next year, Luke, with GaryCon and GaryCon UK.
Goblins? Question mark?
green and short.
Pro? Anti?
Yeah, I would say as far as like pro in my dungeon, just like squish them. Yes, that's fine.
Oh,
in the old days, if they were creatures that were less than 1 hit die, so they were 1/-1 in Grand Searches of Dragons. As a fighter, you got as many attacks around as your head buttons. So if you're a 4th level fighter and you're fighting kobolds or goblins, you get 4 attacks, which as a kid is pretty insane.
I mean, they have a rich culture and stuff like that as well.
No, about that. How important is that?
I want to kind of look into the future. Obviously, you've got a lot on right now. There's conventions up and coming, but I suppose that a lot of your work, essential work, is the creation and the writing of adventures or new systems. Have you got anything in the pipeline that you could possibly allude to, share with us?
Sure. I've been working on the World of Okram. There's the Shintuki adventures that I have that I kickstarted over the past couple of years. So that trilogy is out. I'm working on the setting book. And I realized that's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a ton of work. So I brought in a few people like Rob Howell and a couple of his associates. He's an author I met at an independent authors convention. And while I was there, I also realized, I want to write some books. And so I've been collaborating with some authors to bring some stories to fruition.
More novels than actual...
Yeah, so I've got a historical fiction novel out, the Gygax Odyssey, which is based on a story that he told me about the origins of our family. And so I got together with J. Clifton Slater, and he's a historian and writes pretty much history-type focused books. The tale is we're related to Goliath. So
I love this.
So it takes us all the way back there, and the 3 brothers are digging into their roots and kind of discover, oh wait, we're related to Goliath, and here's why it's kind of been hidden, and we're looking. Some treasures are lost, and they're trying to discover those things.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's a trilogy, and the first book is available on Amazon now. If you search Gygax, you can probably find it. It's Gygax Odyssey. It's on Kindle right now. We'll have some print copies ready soon.
Yeah, I mean, interesting perspective to have, especially in 2024. But that's we could probably do with a couple more beers, really.
Yeah, absolutely. That's.
Do we have any? Can someone talk any?
You got goblins? Could handle this?
Honestly, even Goblins, no respect.
That's historical fiction. I have a progressive fiction book that I'm working on set in the world over him, Son of Blood and Sand, with James Hunter, who's a primarily lit RPG author. And that should about earlier this year. James had some other opportunities pop up, and we talked about it. I was like, these are golden opportunities. You should probably take that. We'll circle back on it this in 25. So that'll be coming out. We've got the outlines all done for a trilogy there. I'm putting together a book of essays for 50 Years of Adventure.
Wow.
So talking to various
As well as
luminaries.
as well as going to plenty of conventions, as well as trying to find time for the family. And how do you do it? Are you a time lord? Do you have a TARDIS at home that you just slip into just to do all this work? Or
I get a lot of help. So partnering with people helps out a bunch, and then just loving your work and trying to do it. I get behind just like everybody else. It's a lot. It is a lot of work, but I have people who help me out. Matt Everhart helps me with Gax Works, and my Patreon. We put out an adventure every month that I help and get input with and that sort of thing. So Kelly Williams has been helpful there. The 50 Years of Adventure book. Jerry Shepard, the author, is the editor there, and she's been helpful in getting that done. And then just my networking and connections with people help to be able to pull in some folks to do these essays. I think Jim Butcher is going to do one of the essays. We've got other prominent actors who are doing, Errol Otis and Larry Elmore at Greenwood, and all these people. James Ward, before he passed away, did an essay for us. Dakota Kraut, and knock on wood, Joe Manganiello said he was going to contribute. I've got to pin him down on that. Yeah, give you a verbal commitment, and I'll see if some of the other folks who come to GaryCon. I don't know if WWE, if you're familiar with the Big Show. Yeah. Okay, so Paul White is a D&D player, and he comes to GaryCon. So
he's in Joe's game, isn't he?
So Vince Vaughn, Tom Morello, D.B. Weiss, who did the Game of Thrones stuff. They come to GaryCon. They have a great time. This come and play games. That's it. They're just people who want to.
Well, that's the beauty of it. I think this is one of the most beautiful things about this game is that you don't know who plays it until you ask. And
that's better. Yeah, cheers. So,
I know it's a bit gloomy out. Weather just kind of
always is.
Yeah.
Always is.
Heard that.
Yeah. So, hot dog.
Yeah.
Sandwich or taco?
It's an interesting question. I think I'm going to have to kind of reference back like the original one.
Well, let's not do that. Just sandwich or taco.
Well, I mean, if we look at the history of where it came from.
Let's not. Let's just.
Well, I think we're missing.
Let's move on.
I find it really, it's a really nice segue actually talking about how much you collaborate with the people to get to where you need to be. So we have been working on something ourselves, not quite ready to release to the public, but you're going to get a little exclusive. So I'm just going to hand you that for now. That isn't the exclusive.
All right. Yes, this microphone. I've always wanted one.
It's brand new technology.
Yeah. I saw Howard Cosell holding one of these once. You don't even know who that is. It's from the 70s. Yeah.
So we have some very talented people as part of our group. We have Harlan, who is an incredible artist. We have Natalie, who is also an incredible artist. But as part of a project that we've been really kind of working on over the last 6 months, we are going to be releasing very soon some merchandise and some apparel. And this is our gift to you.
All right.
This is an exclusive piece. This will not be available on our stores. This is just from Tales to You, with a little lich on there.
See, it says Sway Lich.
So that's just a little something from us to you, little Tales on Tap exclusive that if we hopefully see on Instagram the next time you're in the gym, that could be bang on there, right? So from all of us here at Tales, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today, and we very much look forward to seeing what you've got in store for us all in the future, because we all love your work. And
just keep going, and gaxworks.com is a place where you can find what I'm doing. Gaxworks.com and GaryCon.com. Those are a couple spots where you can kind of see what I'm up to. And if you like cool apparel, I'm not sporting them right now, but I have some fantasy shoes that I released last year. Yeah. So gaxworks.com/G20 shoes. So you can just go look at the store on Gaxworks. And I know it was a good idea because in March, guess who released a fantasy shoe line?
Oh, was it Adidas? Was it?
Converse and Adidas.
Yeah.
And Nike and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Coincidental. That's 6 months after my house. These are me.
It definitely could be coincidental at all, right? But, yeah.
Other cool shoes. So I have a shoe designed by Errol Otis. So that's under the art from Errol Otis, that's the blue one. And then one from the Dungeon Scribe, the red dragon.
Oh,
pretty cool. So yeah, check it out, and you can order yourself a pair of G20 shoes. Get them for I don't know what's coming up. What's a good holiday? You guys have different holidays.
Let's say Christmas. It's
Easter. No, Easter is more exciting. Boxing Day. I mean, that's a little bit more. Yeah, let's go.
Halloween, Christmas,
whatever. That's right. Just buy a pair for yourself.
Yeah,
you owe it to yourself.
You deserve it. But no, Luke, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. So make sure that you hit subscribe for more content like this. We're covering the whole of the UK GE. For you guys at home, you haven't pressed the subscribe button. It's just there. It's a little white button. Press that. Once you've done that, there's a little bell that pops up. Click that as well. And every time we upload new content, it'll be live on there as well. We have full coverage of the UK GE. We're speaking to loads of creators. So if you like this sort of thing, this is where it needs to be. We'll take care. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys. Bye.
So you had a long and illustrious military, 30 years, am I right?
Yeah, about 33 years.
So tell me how you managed to get through 30 years of being in the military, surrounded by all these highly trained, dangerous people, and have them not realize what a dork you are. Wow. There you have it.